Good afternoon, everybody. As you can see, I have two fabulous guests in the Gibbs Cancer Center at Pelham Teaching Kitchen this afternoon. My name is Carrie Stewart. I'm a dietitian and the culinary medicine coordinator here at Gibbs Cancer Center as part of Oncology Support Services. And we are really excited to have these two folks, Kara, who works in our recruitment department, and Victoria, who is part of clinical research as well here at Gibbs Cancer Center. In the kitchen, you could see the colors everywhere already, and there are a lot of pieces to this easy recipe. So I know they want to get started, but if you all could please introduce yourselves first and let everyone know a little bit about what they might want to know, or you could talk about that as you cook. And I'm going to turn it over to you. Thank you so much for being here.
We're so
Thanks for
happy
having
to
us.
be here.
Yeah, we're so excited to be here.
All right.
Okay, I'll go first. I'm Kara Cayton. I am a recruiter in our employment recruitment office based in Beaumont and Spartanburg. So it's really, really nice to be up here at Pelham. I actually recruit for Victoria's department, our clinical research admin and support staff. It is a joy, a complete joy to be able to do that for them. I recruit for a multitude of other things, and we can talk about that later. I can get into a little bit more detail. I'm going to let Victoria introduce herself.
I am Victoria Milam. I'm the operations manager at clinical research, and I've been with the system since around 2017. I started in this department about 2 years ago. It's a fabulous department, a great cause. You know, we're working with cancer patients each day, and it's just a joy to be here. So happy to be here cooking. I think we should probably cook and talk, though.
I mean, it's fair. It's fair. So,
What are we making?
We are making, we're going to make stuffed peppers, quinoa stuffed peppers, and guacamole, which is, I always say, my claim to fame because my brother and I are a little bit competitive in the kitchen, usually. And he and I, we duke it out with whether it's baking, cooking. This is the one thing that he will ask me to bring to family events. And so, if you don't like it, that's okay. I'm still really proud of it. So, but I also love that it's super flexible. It's a kind of, I literally just typed it up because I do it from memory, and you can make adjustments as you go. And so I love it. The quinoa stuffed pepper is the same thing. It's just a great option healthily, depending on what your diet choices are. You can kind of make tweaks to it, and we'll talk about that along the way too. So we'll get started. With the peppers, they've already been washed and prepped. So it's just making sure that you get seeds out, things like that, and having them. I always say it's like a pepper boat. We love it. It is. It's like a little pepper boat. And it holds all the ingredients if things go well. Sometimes they don't, and that's okay. The biggest thing is making sure that it is delicious.
Look at how beautiful.
Scrumptious and healthy. Super colorful. I typically actually will just get a package of peppers that are colorful in whatever capacity you need them to when it comes to that. So I very much enjoy it. But we hope you do too.
I'm going to take these.
Okay.
And get the seeds out.
Okay. Also, I have made this recipe before Victoria.
Yes, and
we are friends and enjoy these. So I laughed because I got a text one day that was like, "Hey, do you want to do this?" And I was like, "Sure."
Yeah.
And so I'm grateful to be here. But this is a recipe that I make pretty regularly, but recently. So I discovered it and I just enjoy it a whole lot. And so prep and baking peppers first. While the peppers are eventually in the oven, I typically will do the actual stuffing while they're in the oven for the first bake. The guac, we're gonna find time for the guac, I promise. I will always typically do that during the second bake as well. The guac doesn't take quite as long and it's not quite as complicated. So we'll do that here in just a minute. And so while she does that, I'm going to go ahead and start chopping our zucchini, our stuff for our, actually, I'm not. I'm going to start our quinoa, which actually I might have
I'm on quinoa.
As I say, fun fact. When it comes to rice, quinoa, anything, any grain, I'm just bad at it. And so I don't know why that is. So I'm actually not even gonna touch it.
You
I'm
do
gonna
the
let
chopping. You're great. You're great at
I'm gonna
chopping.
do the chopping.
So yeah, we've done this before. We've made this before together, and it was fun exchanging. Well, not exchanging, but just discussing different recipes because everybody, has a different spin on their stuffed peppers. And this one came from a list. You want to tell them about the list? I'm going to tell them about the list. The list, Kara has a whole list of healthy homemade, recipes.
I do. I have had
I don't know what that's
again,
for.
transparency. I've actually had some health issues in the past that have created just necessity in regards to my diet and how I eat, when I eat, things like that. So I had to start when it came to that. I've kept a food diet. Or a food diary, and had to from the time I was 14 or 15. And
tell
so
them what's going into this. 2 to 1.
yeah, always 2 to 1 with your quinoa.
So it's 2 cups of vegetable broth.
Yeah.
And 1 cup of quinoa.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I made a list of things that I can eat, which was progressively getting smaller, and things that were healthy and were good to my body. And so I very much enjoyed this particular recipe. But if you like it and you want that list, it's a Google Doc. I could share it. So, so with the peppers, once they're rinsed and good to go, trash can. Here we go.
Right under here.
Oh no, this tracks. Once they're rinsed and ready to go, you're gonna want to, and also I have olive oiled this sheet prior to, so know that. But you're gonna oil the peppers, salt, pepper. I just do salt and pepper on both sides. And then you're going to want to bake them, make sure that they are face down as you do that. So I will tell you, as a recruiter, I also recruit for pharmacy. Is a big one for me. I recruit for pharmacy. I recruit for our health management team, case management. I have a hodgepodge.
You do.
So
you want to talk about the positions that we're recruiting for right now?
Sure. So I have a couple positions in clinical research specifically that I'm recruiting for. One is a QA specialist. I have an intern position that just opened, and then I also have an analyst position that just opened as well. All in clinical research. This is a fantastic team to work for, by the way. They're phenomenal humans, and I very much enjoy being with them and serving them. It's a fun time. I also love my other managers if any of them are watching. So
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
I saw you were drying off the peppers.
Yeah.
Why did you do that?
I don't know.
No, I think there is a reason.
So I soak them.
You soak
before I cook them because
I always make
makes
sure
them
they're dry.
softer. But if you don't get some of that water out, then it's the filling doesn't stay in as well, and you're gonna get
You're gonna get mushy pepper.
soggy.
It becomes soggy.
You're gonna get mushy pepper.
Super
I was
soggy.
gonna say, I feel like there was a reason behind that.
Yeah.
And you probably just did it because you're so used to
I'm not used
this recipe or
without having to say it out loud. Yeah, for sure. No, you don't want a mushy pepper.
No, you don't.
So
even there are just a lot of ways like quinoa. I feel like there are certain ways where people don't enjoy it because they just haven't prepared it right. So maybe they haven't rinsed it off because it does have something called a saponin on the outside of it, and that can make it taste a little bitter. So a lot of times quinoa is pre-rinsed. It'll tell you that on the package. We have pre-rinsed quinoa, but otherwise, if yours does not say it is, then you want to go ahead and rinse it first because that will remove that part but is one extra step in the process. So I love watching the way people do things, and I just noticed that you were drying out your peppers.
Okay.
Cool.
Not used to. I will say with your pepper too on the outside as you do this, Probably need to flip these back over. When it comes to salt and pepper, I'm usually pretty liberal with both of those things, probably too much so at times. So let's see. But salt and pepper on the outside of these peppers before they go in the oven. Oh, pepper.
You see that chopping skill?
I'm so proud. This is
So you like to dice this up. So this is zucchini
Mhm.
and onion, and we have parsley
garlic. Yeah.
and
Yeah, that's
garlic. So that's pretty much it as far as the filling goes. We'll chop all this up, we'll like dice it, and then add it to the quinoa, and that will be our filling. And then she has goat cheese.
Yeah. And if you're not a fan of goat cheese, there are other things that you can do when it comes to cheese. Because not every goat cheese is kind of a very specific palate when it comes to that. So I will mostly do, I like goat cheese, but some of my friends don't. And so I have made them I've got oil on my hands now. But I will sometimes just put mozzarella on top and melt it.
And it's so good. So good that way. I think you used provolone last time. And
I did.
Really,
yeah,
really
I
good.
did use provolone. Sometimes you just got to use what you have.
Yeah.
So, okay. Now that my hands are liberally oiled because it's a little messy, we're gonna pop these in the oven. The oven goes to 450. It's been preheated. The first bake's gonna be 20 minutes. I will also tell you, keep an eye on them. Sometimes they're done early. It just depends. Sometimes peppers are smaller.
Yeah.
It just depends on the size of the pepper. I'm gonna pop these into the oven first, though.
Okay. So I know my chopping skills are probably not up to par with the standards for culinary medicine, but I actually enjoy it. So Kara recently got me interested in cooking again. My grandfather graduated. He actually, whenever he retired, decided to go to chef school, and he went to Cordon Bleu.
Oh.
So I have like all of his ironclad, all of his knives, his mixer, and I don't use it that much. So that's why I was like, Kara, you like to cook.
I'm gonna let you do it.
Yeah.
20.
Let's do this. And that's how I learned about this recipe.
Huh. Also, I didn't know that. That was new to me too.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I love that.
I thought that I told you that for sure.
I don't know. I will also say I'm gonna pull the guac stuff up here too.
All right. You want me to do the onion? Or the avocado? What would you prefer?
I'll do the onion. You can do the avocado.
You sure?
All right. Yeah, that's fine. I'm gonna pull these ingredients up here.
So with the quinoa, I've cooked it so much that I kind of have my own approach, and I don't know, I didn't read the instructions, but I just let it boil, turn it down, cover it up. And that's what I do.
Yeah.
But you want it to be soft. I mean, you don't want it to stay in that hard consistency, like it softens like rice, and it's really filling, and it's something different, something other than rice.
Yeah.
So I like it. I love quinoa. You can add herbs to it.
I do like cooking it in broth, so I really appreciated that you guys started with broth because I do feel like it just gives it another level of flavor, which is important. That's it. We want our food to taste good.
Right.
So we need to give it a little extra TLC. And to your point about chopping something, I mean, anyone that's worked with me in the kitchen has heard me say before, there's not a wrong way, there's just a safe way. So if it's a bunch of different sizes, who cares? You're cooking it down in this case. It doesn't really matter. We're not here to be expert chefs, and I am not either.
I kind of, it's one of those things where
Which bowl are we using for the filling?
This. I'm gonna use, that's for guac.
Okay.
Sorry, I
thought that's what you said.
The guac.
I thought that's what you said.
So I am.
We're yappers, Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm a singer in the kitchen. Which again, Vic has seen it and heard it. So yeah. It's something.
You gonna sing something?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Not right now.
So wait a minute. We got to talk about this. How do you remove your avocado pit?
So for me, I do it as number one as safely as possible. But I will say I use my knife. And I'm usually using a smaller knife to yeah,
I got it. I got it.
100%.
Oh, that. Wave that thing
Sometimes
right
I
at my
will say
face.
some of them are more stubborn than others and require some elbow grease. So
Can I show you a way that
Yeah.
someone just taught me?
Sure.
If I can.
absolutely.
And again, like this is
I'll get close. They can hear me giggling.
very good. So part of the reason that I love doing this is because I love seeing what everyone else's
Yeah.
methods are, because there are so many ways to do this. There really are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I haven't been
sure.
doing this for too long,
Yeah.
but I learned so much from everybody else.
Yeah.
Go
It
ahead.
makes
Take it away,
fun.
Karen.
Well,
So
and I'm going to also I don't chop onions right. I'm just gonna tell you that now.
So you go with the anatomy of the onion. That's how I was taught.
I would love to zoom in while you show. Oh, this is
Here, do you know how to actually if you are formal about your onion cutting, then I'll do the guac.
I told you I was trained by a cordon bleu chef.
I know
Ready?
you did.
Yep, watch
Take
her
your
method.
fingers.
Yeah.
Boom.
You don't even need a knife.
What
You
happens?
do that.
But that's my thing. What happens if your
So
avocado is a little
one thing at a time
that's a good
here.
avocado. That's a good avocado.
Actually, it's
So that's
multiple
fine.
things at a
Technical
time.
part.
But
No,
I let
appreciate
this
that.
boil and then I turn it down and then I cover it up. That's my approach
Okay.
for that. So that's what we're gonna do. And then I'm gonna start with the onion. So as far as the onion goes,
I don't know.
you go with the
You're gonna-
anatomy when you're chopping it. Onions make Kara cry.
I get emotional
They
about
don't
onions.
they don't make me
Um,
cry as bad.
the-
So I have no problem chopping the onions and then it looks like we're good as far as it's already peeled. I take the top off. Where's this produce from? Is this local? Okay.
fair enough.
I know we get those cool boxes sometimes that have all the produce. Love that. Okay.
Good deal.
Okay.
I will
Alright.
say for your avocado, I usually will slice a little bit while it's still in here. And then get it out with a spoon. Just because it makes it a little easier to deal with once it's in the bowl. As you're smashing smaller pieces. This is a little firm.
So I take as far as the onion goes, these little lines and I just chop along the lines. Like I said, just go with the anatomy. So the avocado's a little firm.
Yeah.
They're
No,
so
it's
finicky.
great.
It's like 1 second they're not
Yeah.
ready, and the next they're done.
It's true. It's true. I will also tell you, when it comes to saving avocado, I will also people tend to be afraid of whether it's an apple or an avocado. My mom taught me a trick, and that is wrap it in foil and I always save my pit. Always make sure to save your pit. I'll wrap mine in foil, because I also am a millennial, so I love avocado toast. Nobody's taking that away from me.
Same.
So I use avocado pretty frequently, and but I'll only use a half for toast, and so because of that, I will save the pit, wrap it in foil, put the pit back in, and then put it in the fridge. Is usually how I save it. So, that's
Avocado is so good for your skin, I think. I mean, it's got a lot of benefits.
that's 100% why I eat so much.
Great healthy fat, right?
Yeah. That's right.
I like it. I'm glad I like it.
Good.
I'm still introducing it. So I have a daughter named Luna, and she tried it recently, very recently, avocado. And she loves it. I never would have thought. So I'll just leave these to the side because that's for the guac, right? We don't want to
Oh,
put too
yeah.
much. Is that okay? Or
Sure.
more? All right.
No, that's fine. That's plenty.
Okay.
I will tell you a funny story though.
We love funny stories.
The first time. No,
Not yet.
no, except for the quinoa. Quinoa's cooking. That's it.
So some onions for this also,
Yes.
for the stuffed peppers.
Yes.
So we did like half an onion, but we may not need that much, depending on how many avocados you use.
I will tell you, you can't take back. Once you mix in the onion, you can't take it back. You've committed, and the first time I made this,
Was it the first time?
it was the first time that I made this. Oh wait. I learned things. There we go.
There we go. Look at us.
Nailed it. The first time I made this recipe for Vic, I may have used a touch too much onion.
Put the whole onion in. We were yapping. That was the problem.
We're yappers, we're good at it. I got distracted, and I put almost, it wasn't an entire onion, but it was most of the onion. And it was in there. And I will also say, Vic eats it without tomatoes, so there wasn't a whole lot to cut the onion itself.
Yeah, I don't like tomatoes.
So
It's a texture thing for me.
also, I will tell you with the guac, it depends on how big. Like if you're just cooking for two, you could probably do 2 avocados. I'm kind of making this more of like I'm taking this somewhere, whether it's a family picnic or I don't know, some type of sports. I was gonna say sports ball. I was actually an athlete. But
100%. This always comes up. She's in the Hall of Fame at her high school, right?
no,
You're not?
sure not.
Yes, you
No.
are. Yes, you are.
I am not.
Oh, okay.
But I was an athlete.
Oh.
But you can take it to some type, whether it's a Super Bowl party, something like that. I can't figure out which way this knife goes. Okay,
For sure. This is such a sporty snack.
it is.
Guac. And the peppers too. Those are great for like,
Some type of
Halftime
Okay, it didn't work with
meals.
this one. So my finger went all the way through the
oh man.
thing. So
Okay, so the quinoa, that's doing well. That's cooking. And we're gonna start we're gonna start this one. I don't want to put
you might want to cool that one down because it's
olive
been
oil
preheating
on
for some
super,
time.
super high heat can be kind of dangerous.
I'm a little finicky with my garlic. So I will tell you that like I don't cook garlic too much ever. I will usually throw it in the pan at the very last minute. In whatever I'm cooking, just so I don't burn it. Because I've had burnt garlic before and it's not pleasant. So
Oh,
Yeah.
it's easy and it's really easy to burn and it turns super bitter when it's
Yeah.
burnt.
Oh,
And
man.
so it very much will, it can elevate a dish, but it can very much destroy a dish if you don't handle it properly. So I never cook garlic for longer than a minute or two in whatever I'm doing. So
Or I can go get you another one that's already cool because the
How hot is it?
cooktop is hot. It's pretty hot.
okay.
oh no. Okay.
No
Because,
problem.
when you're not using your own kitchen, you always gotta
Yeah.
find those little
Yeah.
recipes, but this is looking
Woo.
good, guys.
Thanks. So I'm also gonna chop up some of this
That's hot.
parsley. Is that what we're working with here? Just parsley?
Parsley's a garnish for the peppers.
Oh, okay.
So parsley comes last.
Well, I'll go ahead and chop that up while we're,
Yeah.
want to be productive here.
Parsley. When it comes to seasoning, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, is what I use. And then obviously you put the goat cheese on top too.
So
they're done.
just for the peppers? Yeah.
Yes, those are just for that.
Okay.
So again, the fun thing with the guac is you can kind of make it your own. If you don't like tomatoes, that's okay. If you don't like onion, that's okay. I will also say that the most common thing that my family adds is cilantro.
And you're not a cilantro.
I think I think it tastes like soap.
You got that genetic?
I did, and
I
it
didn't
makes me
get that.
sad. It makes
Yeah.
me sad because everybody thinks it's delicious, and I think it's not.
I don't know. I come across probably about 50% of people that
Yeah.
have that.
Yep. It's
But
I
it
don't like
The
it.
way you digest it, which is so
Huh.
wild to think about.
That is wild.
And a gene.
Huh.
So
That's super wild.
if you are watching and you think cilantro tastes like soap too, you're not alone.
Right.
So I didn't buy any, but I
Wings.
just cilantro like
Wings.
the
Sorry.
whole thing.
Yeah, me
I will
too.
also say my dad likes jalapenos in it too.
Okay.
So he'll also add some of that.
Yeah.
It just genuinely depends. It's super easy to doctor.
And even if you
yeah.
had leftover bell peppers and you
Uh-huh.
wanted to add just regular bell pepper to it,
Sure.
you guys have been talking about adaptability this whole time, and that's exactly right. If you have a different type of pepper, go ahead and use that. I'm really interested because I don't think I've ever had anyone make the guac with lemon juice. So that is very interesting to me.
It was so the original. I don't know that I would even recognize the original recipe that I used at this point. To be honest, I think every recipe that I have is printed, and it is, yes, I have a Google Doc, but it's also printed, and you'll see my scratches all over it. I have a carrot cake recipe that's one of my favorites. I knew I had made it when my niece looked at me and she goes, "Will you make my birthday cake?" And I was like, because 8-year-olds are hard to please. And so I was really excited about it. And but it's just scratch. Like it,
Yeah.
I add, I subtract. So it's yeah.
So this is pretty easy. We're just going to saute the veggies that go into the filling, and then we'll add the quinoa in. We're going to season with the Italian seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper.
Yep.
And it's actually really good. So whenever I first made it, I always use like spicier herbs and, you know, almost like a taco type seasoning for my stuffed peppers. And these were so much lighter. Like I thought it was interesting to see Italian seasoning, but it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Yeah, we love it. So
Sure.
you're getting stuff everywhere though.
I'm gonna be kind to my wrist because one of these is a little. No, it's all right. We're almost there. I broke my wrist about a year ago, and so things that were a little easier were a little easier for me are. I think I'm okay. I think if she gets me a masher, I should be all right. So
She has the masher.
Super kind.
That's
Look
a
at that.
mega industrial.
Listen,
masher.
this is a dream, is what this is. This will protect all of my wrist. Oh my gracious. I also don't know how I'm gonna get the guac out. Okay, all right.
Critical thinking. We will figure it out.
You know what? Most of my time in the kitchen is a scientific experiment, and I appreciate that. So I'm gonna get through here. Oh man, this is a significant masher. So
It's pretty serious.
it is.
My
guac isn't that serious. So
yeah, it's kind of cramping its style, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I could mash.
No,
It looks good.
It's mashed. I just
Yeah.
gotta get it out of the masher. We're trying to spatula would certainly help. It absolutely would. Absolutely. We're gonna do this. All right. Cool.
Good.
It does.
This is also super simple. And I will say, like, my nieces love to do things where they can dump. If they can dump it in, they enjoy it.
Right.
And so this is a fun thing to do, even the stuffed peppers with them, to be able to bring the ingredients together, stuff the peppers, sprinkle the cheese. It's easy to incorporate kiddos in this type of recipe.
Mm-hmm.
And so this. Okay. Okay. And then now that I have that, I'm gonna put this back here. Okay. We've mashed the avocado with much effort. And so again, we've got and then I just dump. Once you've mashed the actual avocado in a bowl, I literally just whatever other ingredients you want to add. It's a dump type of recipe, which is what makes it so great. I always say, but make sure add a little bit of a time. Don't take an entire ingredient and dump it. I always say a little bit of onion, a little bit of tomato, a little bit of garlic, and see how it tastes. Taste test. If you need to add. Because it's really once it's too oniony, once it's too tomatoey, once it's too salty, it is what it is. It's not easy to take back and to fix. So I'm gonna do. We got the onions done. I'm gonna do tomatoes, Do you want me to set aside some?
No,
Okay.
it's just the texture thing for me. I can do tomato soup, I can do spaghetti sauce, but I just don't like tomatoes. It's a texture thing. But I understand, and I can deal with them
Listen,
and pick around them.
I
As long as you
don't
don't
love
cut
a
'em too small.
tomato. My aunt Leanne, shout out to one of the best people I know, who struggles with Crohn's disease, loves tomatoes, adores them,
Yeah.
and will eat one like an
Yeah.
apple, full blown apple,
Tomato. Like
with
an apple?
enough salt. I don't. It's insane the amount of salt. I say that I also eat a significant amount of salt, so I can't really talk. But yeah, she is wonderful, but she is a tomato lover. So
Gotta watch the sodium intake,
I
right?
know, I
Depending on who you
know.
are. I'm not a physician.
And that's the thing about it. I don't always mean for there to be too much salt. Just kind of happens.
Well, so far we haven't added very much salt to this recipe, but what does it call for?
I think tablespoon. Let me see. I think it just says to taste. That's my. Do we have the garlic chopped for that?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, I'll do that. Okay. I will also say that, like, again, Vic knows this about me. Garlic, I don't love chopping garlic. At all. Are we all a smasher? A garlic smasher before a chopper? Okay. I'm gonna move this out of the way really quick. Okay, so the first time I saw my mom do this, I had a panic attack. Full-blown panic attack. Why are you hitting the knife? But it is helpful and also kind of fun. So okay. Bang it and just roll it with the palm. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I've never had a knife garlic accident. Thankfully, I should knock on some type of wood because I am a little accident prone, but
That's why I'm here.
yeah. You said roll. Okay, let's roll. Look at that. Look at that.
Did you roll? It looked like you smashed. I didn't get to see the roll.
I just put my weight behind it. Like I just kind of yeah. Why not? Oh no. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So good up here already.
Well, we like that.
I can really smell the Italian food.
I know. It makes a big difference.
It does make a big difference.
You gonna put a little garlic in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
It goes in there.
And then we can start to stuff the peppers.
Yep.
Okay.
If anybody's worried about my fingers, I'm okay, I promise.
We're, in the best place if there's a situation.
Also true.
Those are plenty, yeah.
I will also say, as someone who is an employee but has also been a patient, like I pulled in this morning and to Pelham and looked over at the ER and was like, they saved my arm function and they were super sweet and just the best people. In a moment where I was genuinely scared. I am an athlete. I like to be active, and all of a sudden, my right arm, my dominant arm, I couldn't. It was pretty broken. And so this facility and these folks, yeah, they were just super kind. And so I was grateful for that. So I have experience on both sides.
Yeah, I think
things.
many of us have, it's a great
So,
system.
garlic.
All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more. We're
think
just
I'm
gonna
okay.
stuff the peppers now.
Say that.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
We're making a big mess though. I hope that's okay. Yeah. I am at least. I don't know about you, but it's getting kind of messy over here, and
Yeah.
that's okay.
Yep.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
It's very aromatic. You can smell the herbs and
As-
super simple. And I just
It is for sure. And I
love it.
also find cleaning up kind of after the hubbub is over. I find it a little relaxing.
Oh,
Uh,
great.
My mom would probably laugh at that. But
Okay, so the best place to do this, I think I'm gonna use this workstation right behind us.
go for it.
Okay, so
Go for it.
just to
All right,
make
we're gonna
sure.
add. We've added 1 Roma tomato to the guac. And a small amount of onion. And I'm gonna keep it there for now. And I'm gonna chop some more garlic because that's my favorite thing to do. And then we'll get into the rest of it. That is fascinating. I've learned so much. This is great. Also, it's a miracle I have not gotten anything on my shirt. Yeah. So it's a running joke in our office that I tend to spill, and yeah. So whether it's coffee. Also, if you ever see us out at an event, please know that we have one of our little knickknacks that we give out at events is a Tide pen that's marked with Spartanburg Regional.
Yes.
And I have been able to look at folks because they're like, "Oh, does it work?" And I'm like, "It does. I've tested it." So that's always a fun conversation for folks. So yeah.
I am stuffing the peppers, so they're pretty well cooked, maybe just a little bit more than we typically would have, but that's okay. It makes them soft and easy to get the filling into, and really you just take it. I mean, you can stuff it as much as you want to. There's plenty of filling here. And then we just pop them back in the oven. So I'll show you in just a second. It is a little messy, so I'm gonna try and clean it up just a bit. Yeah, lower.
375. Yeah, it goes once you get the peppers out of the oven, you want to pop it back down to the oven temperature back down to 375 to do your second bake. So by this point, hopefully your kitchen smells delicious.
They look good?
Ours does.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay, so I will show. Where's the camera at?
Yeah, it's right where Kara is. So
I will shift and pivot here.
Okay, coming behind you hot. Ready?
Yeah.
So this is what we're gonna put in the oven. We're gonna put a little bit of goat cheese, right? After we get them out. So
Yeah.
we'll just keep an eye on them.
Yeah, it's a garnish. The goat cheese and the parsley come last. Let me check myself before. Yeah, no. I think it's
like 15 minutes, if that.
10 minutes.
We're gonna keep an eye though because I mean, the peppers are cooked.
They go fast at this point. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can start with 8. That's fair.
That sounds good.
And so I also sometimes will occasionally mix some cheese into the filling.
that's it. Yeah.
So I don't usually, if I'm doing that, I'm probably not using goat cheese. I'm probably using a mozzarella,
Okay.
a parm,
Yeah.
a four like a mix of 4 cheeses.
Yeah.
If I mix it in, it's usually less goat cheese and things like that.
Yeah.
And so I'll mix that in and then top.
Yeah.
It just depends on how cheese heavy you
Yeah.
want your actual recipe to
Yeah.
be.
But this is a very light, like I said,
Yeah.
stuffed pepper recipe.
Okay, so I've done this. I've got 2 cloves of garlic. I will say again, I love garlic. I love garlic. I love onion. And so I tend to be a little heavy-handed with the garlic and the onion. But I've got 2 cloves of garlic in there. I've got maybe a fourth of an onion, probably large onion. I've got 1 Roma tomato. I can pretty much guarantee you that we'll probably put more tomato in. I might not. Because I care what my friend thinks.
I can pick around it. Listen.
So, but next it's juicing lemon and salt, pepper, and then we'll be done and we can mix. But I will tell you, I am never this fancy. I don't typically use fresh lemons, and I usually just use. I have a I actually have a stockpile of lemon juice and lime juice in her fridge. And so
Just
and
straight out of the bottle.
and my own. So I usually am just dumping.
But
And
we're
so
doing
this
fresh.
These, like, fuel and
So-
yeah, so.
and they're a little hard.
So
They're a
you want me to
little
do this
hard.
part then, since you don't normally do this with a
Huh?
real
Oh,
lemon?
no, I'm-
You know what you're doing. Okay.
It's not that I don't
Listen,
know how to
just
do
wanted to
it.
make
It's
sure.
that I have it. I just I'm
There's
lazy.
definitely like 4 bottles of lime juice and lemon juice in my fridge.
No, you know what? That is a fair thing. That's a fair thing. But yeah, it's my grandfather, and I always laugh. He was my first. I guess my grandmothers and my grandfather were my first kind of taste of the kitchen and cooking. He loved to cook, but he loved to cook with onion, garlic all the time. So that's what he smelled like. And then he knew it. He knew he smelled like that, but he would grab peppermints, and so then he just smelled like garlic, onion, and peppermint. And so it's one of my the smell of garlic and onion. You know, smell is such a brings forth memory. It's something, and so it makes me think of him. And I adore that. I might have done that too. That was not the middle of
You're
that.
doing great.
And thank you. Oh, look at that. All right. I might have you do this just because of my.
You guys, I don't use this. I do the thing
Yeah,
with
how-
the hand,
how do you
and
do
I
that?
just let the seeds. I squeeze
Fancy.
the lemon.
On the table.
Okay.
So, and then you pour the juice out that way. So
Okay.
that way you don't have to.
And it goes
your
this
hands
way?
together. Yep. And then
Oh
you
my.
just mash it down.
Gosh, I got it. You got it with the wrist.
I can do this hand.
Okay.
If I can put it down, I'm all right. Oh, that's
Beautiful.
That's coming out. Okay. Woo. Okay.
All right, now the lime. Okay.
No, this lemon has more to give. This is this is
How much do you need though?
I'm gonna
No-
use the other half too.
Really? Okay.
I always say, especially with guac, if you ever see them make it like table size, it needs acid. It's the acidity is kind of what makes it a party. I enjoy that very much.
I guess
but it
you're
helps
right.
with
Yeah.
it genuinely helps if you put too much onion or if you put too much of something else. It really helps cut that. And so the acidity it genuinely makes it a little more exciting. So, all right. We've done that. Also, anyway. All right. Okay, well, please. I told you I don't do this.
So you roll the citrus
Yeah.
before you squeeze it.
Yes. And so I always just put the heel in my hand here, just roll back and forth. Kind of loosens it up. It makes it a lot easier to get the juice out, and you're gonna get more juice out of it. So
All right, I'm gonna check on the peppers.
yep, fair enough.
'Cause this is a very hot oven.
This is a messy kitchen, is what this is. It's gonna be a delicious kitchen, but it's a messy one.
Are we
so-
done with the is there anything I can get out of the way?
Yeah, that stuff I'm done with. But
I don't know if we want to keep that or not.
I'm not great at cleaning as I go.
And that's my philosophy. Clean as you go.
So,
Clean as you go.
I wish I were better at it. My mother is an absolute wizard. She's done cooking. We look around and it's spotless, and we're like, how did she do that? But I'm not as good at it. Okay, so I have done 1 lemon and 1 lime. The juice of 1 lemon and 1 lime. In here, like I said, we got 4 avocados, 2 cloves of garlic, about 1/4 of an onion, and 1 Roma tomato. In here, I am going to add salt and pepper, and then we're gonna mix. Again, I always say, don't be as liberal as you may want to be with the salt. You can always add more. I tend to be. I inherited it. I'm from the Midwest originally, so my palate is very Midwest. I always confuse people when I make spaghetti. I'm like, I'll make spaghetti for you, and they're like, oh, that's wonderful. And then I put what they would consider chili on top of the pasta. So it's I'm like, sorry, I'm gonna wipe this off. So There we go. Better. This is not. I olive oiled this. And
Got
so
it?
this is, I don't know. I don't know if anybody got it. That's gonna have to be enough pepper. It's just, yeah, I was gonna say that might be.
Okay.
I did this with olive oil on my hands. And so now this is a little slick.
We can fix that.
We're gonna, I always, look at that. I always use cracked pepper. Let's be clear. I am a little high maintenance with my pepper, but
Mhm.
Not your citrus, but your pepper.
yes. I'm weird like that, so it's all good. Okay. So, salt, pepper, then mix it together. This is going to be pretty citrusy, but it's okay.
That's what I was
Also found some
saying.
less than mashed. I'm going to grab a.
All right.
That was a big masher, and there are some pieces in here that aren't as mashed.
So we're just gonna top these with a little bit of goat cheese, a little bit of garnish. And you don't really have to chop herbs whenever you're using them as a garnish. You can just kind of rip
You know
them.
what? We're gonna be okay with it. Okay. Is that
I'm all about a good presentation, so that's something that
we're done with that, right?
Mhm.
Because I turned it off. That's
Oh,
hilarious. That was
good.
comedic timing, is what that was. I don't know. I got nothing. I turned it off. I thought I did. Oh, okay.
And excuse my reach, maybe just a little bit more for the center.
I will be honest. This right here is
She was like,
very
"What?
different than our
Presentation?
personality.
What do you mean presentation?" I was like, that's the whole point.
In my brain, I'm
Big
like,
culinary arts.
in my brain, I'm like, does it taste good?
That's what they teach you in culinary arts school.
I know, and I didn't go to that.
I didn't either, but I appreciate
I
it.
feel like secondhand you did a little bit.
Yeah.
So, I'm not gonna add any more. I feel like I would stir this up and probably add another tomato or so. And like I said, cilantro, jalapenos, make it exciting.
I'm gonna move this so that we have a nice presentation.
You make it
All
nice
right.
and pretty, and I will.
That's everything, right? We're not making brownies.
That's everything.
No cookies.
We are
nothing like
done.
that today. Okay.
We're done.
So we can
At
get
this
all
point, I would
done.
probably make some boxed brownies. I'm kidding. I also love to bake, so I very much enjoy that piece too. So
Okay.
yeah.
So as far as the camera goes, we have this, right? Oh, we're good there. The belt. Okay.
Just move all the things. Okay. No, I think my only thing is that you usually are gonna have some leftovers when it comes to the stuffing. There are a plethora of ways to use that.
Eat them.
Eat them.
That's what I do.
Yeah. For sure. It's good to kind of throw in a lunchbox and things like
Yeah.
that. It's so it's
beautiful.
there you go. Find out. Now I'm just nervous. I've never had this happen to me before in front of people. So
Award-winning guac.
See, I'm standing here like
I've
we're on some sort of a show.
never had lemon,
I know.
but it works.
Mhm.
It makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're right. Acid.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I can't wait to dig into these.
Yeah.
So just to kind of recap some of the things that you guys were talking about that spoke to me were the adaptability. And I mean, obviously, don't forget that the kitchen is a place to have fun. And if you can do it with your friend and that makes it more fun to actually take the time to prepare a homemade meal like this, then like you said, box brownies at the end. It's okay because you just put in all this hard work, all of this color that's going on here. thank you for sharing a little bit about your health journey and the fact that food is really working for you
Yeah.
because it can
Yeah.
and it should. And it's not that there's not room for carrot cake, but it's family. We don't think about some of those core memories being related to smell of food,
Mhm.
but it is. And so
Yeah.
just draw and lean into what makes it special to you and your family and your friends. Figure out how to make it fun. Find somebody that cleans as they go because I'm not that person either. And so with that being said, I cannot thank you guys enough for being here.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to eat these peppers. I'm gonna eat
All right, let's
one
dig
more
in.
bite.
Listen, I will gladly dig in. I haven't had this in a minute. This has been,
Eat some cilantro, in my opinion, of course, but
it does.
um.
I think anybody else would say it needs
Yeah.
some cilantro.
Oh, one of the things I was gonna mention is the salt. So we were talking a little bit about salt earlier,
Mhm.
and the broth is salted. So that's another good reason to not add any extra salt to your quinoa because you're already salting that. The goat cheese is gonna have a little bit of salt in it. And then I would probably to the rest of the mixture not add more than about 1/4 of a teaspoon of it for if you need a number to measure. But otherwise, I don't think anyone had any questions, so thank you so much for joining us. One thing Victoria briefly mentioned is coming to Gibbs Cancer Center at Pelham food share boxes. So starting in July 1st from 3 to 6 p.m., you'll be able to come here to the Cancer Center and either buy a box with $20 in cash or $5 off of your SNAP or EBT card, and then pick it up the following Tuesday, July 8th. So Tuesdays will be food share days here. It as part of culinary medicine, just a way to bring healthy, fresh, local food at an affordable price to you a little bit easier. So we're really excited about that. If you want to come give it a try, it's just do one. And if you don't, it's not for you, it's not for you. That's totally fine. So, but we are actively looking for ways to do that. So want to mention that. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
And next month we have pediatrician Wendy Cox. She's a nurse practitioner with our Center for Pediatrics, and she will be here doing raw veggies and homemade bean dip. So I love that you started to talk about incorporating children because there are a lot of ways that they can do easy things that don't necessarily make a big mess. And it's so important, like you're talking about your grandparents teaching you this, and you remember that. And so kids remember that too. And we all eat. So we got to teach our kids how to prepare food too. So join us for that. That is on our website in July. And I think it's July 10th, but I'll post that for you as well. So thank you again, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is fun.
So fun.
Yeah.
All right. Bye, everyone.